Tissot was found in Switzerland in 1853 and has become unanimous with Swiss watchmaking. Even though most people will not consider this as a high horology brand, I wholeheartedly believe they produce some of the best attainable quality watches on the market, and the value proposition they have showcased with this watch is staggering. When I initially saw the pattern of the dial, it was off-putting to me. It was not something I gravitated towards at all. I was in a phase in my life where I was stubborn about only having an affiliation with simple aesthetics, meaning no honeycomb, waffle, subdials, or any pattern whatsoever. But after further introspection and revelation and me becoming much healthier mentally, this watch suddenly becomes a much more satisfying experience, and in some cases a preferred design. I usually do not find myself in this position where I am unsure of a dial to then actually appreciating it. The dial up close is way less aggressive than I thought it would be. The experience is more simplified than I expected it to be. The experience of the synchronous pattern throughout the dial, the symmetry of the pattern coupled with the materials of the dial, which seems to be some sort of muted soft piece of proprietary metal or foam. It's just an overall pleasant experience. Some people would say that this is a homage to the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, and I think that makes sense. There is definitely reminiscent design cues from the Royal Oak. I still do believe this watch has an independent expression, and in some cases excels more than the Royal Oak. The PRX is built like a tank and has a water resistance of 100 meters, so you can comfortably bring this on a holiday in Australia for diving in the reefs with no issues at all. I don't think you can do that with the Royal Oak, for instance. Goes without saying, I recommend this watch, and I'm surprised by the quality and experience that is achieved with this watch. And I feel for the first time in a very long time the Swiss strikes back against the Japanese that has been eating into the market share with a powerful watch that performs on all cylinders with a price that can compete with even micro brands. The watch is encased in sapphire, both protecting the dial but also the back. Movement is a modified ETA 2824 and beats 3 beats per second and has a staggering 80 hours of power reserve, which is more than 3 whole days. One thing I wish they would have modified slightly different is the dimensions. It's a 40mm watch but wears more like a 42mm watch. I wish they would have produced a watch in a 38mm dimension instead to give a neoclassical take on it. PRX Powermatic 80 is one for the books. I think it will be deemed a modern legend and something that the Swiss has needed for a very long time. The way they have reignited the Swiss watchmaking, having the everyday man one day being able to aspire to own a piece like this, I think that's kind of cool. I hope you enjoyed this segment.